You remember Van Halen? You remember Van Halen back in the days, the group, big hit, 70s, 80s, 90s? Today I want to talk to you about what Van Halen can teach every single entrepreneur about success. I'm Patrick Bedivio, host of Valuetainment Weekly, and today I want to talk about Van Halen and something they did that was so incredible that every single entrepreneur can learn from. Because so many times you wonder, 95% of entrepreneurs, they don't make it. Why don't they? What's the reason for it? It's not only because, it just didn't work out. There are many, many reasons for where you can find why that took place. So Van Halen, back in the days, they were a rock band. So when these guys would go and perform in the Boston Gardens or the Toronto Leafs, the Toronto Maple Leafs Garden, or it was Chicago Garden, wherever it was, the AV equipment wasn't prepared to have a rock band like Van Halen. They would come and there was a lot of different things. If he didn't do it right, it wasn't safe for the attendees. People could get hurt. There was a lot of different things to it. And they had to protect themselves. So they had a clause. And here's what the clause was. When they got a promoter to come and promote them and get all these different setups everywhere, right? The promoter would have to sign a contract with dozens of stipulations. They had riders, is what they called it, on the contract that Van Halen had. If you don't go through these dozens of things that we have on the checklist, we don't pay you at the end of the show. And so the promoter knew, if I get you in the gardens, if I do this, if I don't follow these dozens, you're not going to get paid at the end of the show. So a lot of people used to say, David Lee Roth, he's a weird guy anyways. All these stories about him going in his man cave, turn the lights off, and be there by himself for days to come out with music. He is a weird guy. He is this, he is that. He actually was a very, very brilliant mind. The whole group was a brilliant group, and here's what they did. One of the writers they had in the contract to the promoter, they had things from what specific type of toilet paper they wanted on it. Now, 90% of the writers, 80% of the writers were about how to make it safer for everybody else. But a couple of them were things that people would say, who cares about having this? One of them was, we want M&Ms in backstage. But in details, it says, but there can be no brown M&Ms in there at all. None. And if you don't read this line, we will not pay you. And the promoter would sign it. So they would come to perform in Chicago Gardens, or they would come to perform anywhere. What would happen? They would go through everything. First thing they would check is go in the backstage, and they would see the M&Ms. They would look for brown M&Ms. Nope, there's brown M&Ms. We're not paying them because they're not prepared. Then they would have to go and check everything to make sure it was safe for people to attend their rock concert. Now, you may say, give me a break. That's just ridiculous. You know what I do say to that? I say, pay attention to details. So many times, in businesses, you're running a business, you're doing this, you're doing that, and you're doing a lot of things right. You're not paying attention to your expenses. You're not paying attention to the details of an operation. You're not paying attention to certain numbers you're supposed to track. You're not paying attention to certain paperwork you're supposed to submit the proper way. You're not paying attention to certain person that's not doing the right things the proper way that could potentially hurt your company. You're not paying attention to the details, and eventually it ends up backfiring on you, and it ends up hurting you if you don't pay attention to those specific details. So Van Halen and your M&M story, what a great story. I would tell you to inspect your business as an entrepreneur and ask yourself, what areas of my business, details, am I not paying attention to that are hurting my business? And if you're not going to do it, you got to hire somebody to do that part, and their job specifically is to do what? To pay attention to those details so it doesn't hurt you long term, and it protects you long term and gives you the highest chance of succeeding as an entrepreneur. So my message to the weekend, please be sure to subscribe to this channel and comment at the bottom.